Once again, good afternoon, everyone. Today's fourth and final news conference is with Wisconsin. We have student athletes Claudia Kepler and Sophia Shaver and head coach Mark Johnson. We will start with an opening statement from Coach Johnson, then we'll open it up to questions for all three. A reminder once again, please use the wireless microphones as this news conference is being recorded. Coach Johnson, opening statement.
Well, just first of all, thank Minnesota for hosting. It should be a wonderful weekend. 4 quality teams playing at a real high level, which should make for a great tournament. I know ticket sales are very strong, so I think the atmosphere for women's hockey is going to be excellent, and we're certainly very thrilled to be part of this weekend.
Thank you, Coach. Questions from the media in the back.
Sophia, what does it mean to be able to play here in Minnesota? Where are you from?
I mean, it's always awesome to come back to Minnesota and be able to play in front of a lot of friends and family since it's only a 20-minute drive from my house. But to come back for the Frozen Four and hopefully a national championship game is going to be amazing.
Next question. Right here.
Claudia, how ready are you guys to just play at this point? And this week feel a little bit long given what's at the end of it?
Yeah, I mean, we're ready. We've just been taking it day by day and focusing in on, what comes next. And, we're going to come out flying tomorrow because we have all this built up energy and we're just ready to go.
Next question.
Mark or either of the players, when you guys went to Ohio State and got swept, just how did you treat that? Like, it seemed like it would have been a turning point just in kind of building your resilience.
I mean, I can answer that. I think any time that we face adversity like that, it teaches us a lesson. So we learned there that we need to be able to play in any type of rink in any type of situation, and I think we came out the next weekend really hard because of it.
I think the one thing we try to do as a staff is try to be consistent, and whether you win or lose, you can learn from every game, you learn from every practice. Certainly losing both those games that weekend was a learning opportunity for us. We were in a position, if we had won one of those games, to win our league championship, which is a difficult task in itself. And so, we come back Monday after that weekend, and it was no different than, what we did Monday in November or Monday in December, try to figure out what we needed to do to get better as we were getting ourselves ready to go up to Duluth and hopefully clinch a league championship. So give the players credit for coming in that week and being focused. And, sometimes when you lose, you get humbled a little bit. And certainly we played against a very strong Ohio State team. We happened to have a few injuries at the time, so there are a lot of things circumstantial. But, we came back that week very focused and, finished the season on a strong note after that weekend.
Next question.
Mark, the series you played here against the Gophers in October, how much do you think that set the course for this season? Because that was a early stretch. You had a lot of games in a row. I didn't have a break there, and
you got to remember, I'm getting old. I don't remember that.
I apologize for testing the memory, but
no, I mean, as you well know, my 15-plus years, playing against the Gophers, those weekends for me are, I don't want to say easy, but, the team understands what's at stake. The rivalry is there, and whether it's a regular season game here or down at LeBon or in a quarterfinal game or an NCAA game, both teams get excited to play. Both teams bring the best out of the other team, and certainly coming out with 2 victories early in the season, for a young team that we have, helps with your confidence. And certainly when Bailey scored the second night in overtime to win that game, it was a very excited, very energetic bus ride back to Madison. And as I've always said, the pizza always tastes a little better after you win, and certainly when you win up here, it tastes that much better. But again, early in the process, early in the year, certainly helped this team gain some confidence.
Question right here.
Yeah, Mark, Kristen Campbell has done a terrific job for you this year. If she had not have transferred in here, what would your goaltender situation have been like?
Didn't have to decide about that.
Next question.
Not just an if question, so we can get into hypothetical things, but it's not worth going down that path.
Let me try something else. Miles, could you just talk, by Kristen coming in here, she certainly solidified the position. Did you see early on that she was capable of what she was able to do this year?
Well, probably the biggest question, well, two of them, was, the chemistry within our group, bringing someone in so late and having played in our league prior to coming into, so that was a concern. And then, her freshman year, she redshirted, so she didn't play. And then her sophomore year, she's played a sprinkle of games. And so from our standpoint, with the number one position opened up in our goaltending situation was, was she going to be able to carry the load? How many games was she going to play? And so we've been asked quite a bit about, with the young team we have, what expectations do you have? And so as a coach and as coaching staff, we looked at this season with no expectations. We're going to start on day one. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to try to make each player better, and collectively as a group, try to make the group better. Evaluate the weekends when we play, come back Monday and try it again. And Kristen was no different than as what we looked at as a whole team. And so start the process, don't get ahead of yourself. And the nice thing about her is, credit to the players to my left here, our senior class, and our juniors and our group that came back from last year really took her under the wing and made her feel very welcome, made her feel very comfortable. And so there's going to be a bunch of adjustments for her coming into Madison and going to our university, not only with things on the ice, different coaching staff, different structure. I'm sure a lot of things, we do differently than where she came from. And, then she had to deal with school. Our school is a lot different than where she came from. So a lot of things on her plate, and she adjusted very well. First weekend played well, built some confidence up, and then just sort of went from there. And every weekend she's given us a chance to win, and we're certainly happy that she's part of our program.
Sophia, what's the advantage of having been at this event before? I mean, you're playing a team that doesn't have that that experience. You have been to a few, and there's a lot of girls in the room that have. How do you use that?
I mean, I think there's a lot of distractions that can happen in a tournament of this scale, but we've learned losing here, and we have that kind of bitter taste in our mouth. So every game we come out this tournament, we're going to be coming out 100%.
Claudia, is it any more special being here this year after having to sit out last year?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's definitely something you dream of as a kid to be able to play at the Frozen Four. So I mean, for all of us, people that have been here, and the freshmen, and myself, and Soupy, who haven't been here, it's going to be a special moment.
So obviously last year the Frozen Four didn't go the way that you guys wanted. Mm-hmm. What did you learn from that you can use here, and then what is different this year than that time?
I think last year's game was really humbling for us. I think we need to learn to come into every game ready to play 100% and play all 60 minutes, because that's what it takes. I mean, we've got the top 4 teams in the country, and we're going to need to take all that we've learned this whole season and apply it on the ice.
Any other questions?
Mark, on paper at least the teams seem a little similar statistically. Do you see that from your video, what we've seen in them?
Yeah, I mean, if we start comparing things, there's a lot of similarities as far as the way teams play defensively, the way they play offensively, goaltender, special teams. So that's what's going to make the game entertaining. You've got two teams that play very similar, and then it's just who's going to be able to manage, especially in the early part of the game, the nerves and the energy necessary to be successful. And similar to last weekend, who's going to capitalize on their opportunity, especially early in the game.
Any final questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.